Well, the US does want to retaliate against the Europeans over what it says are EU subsidies to Airbus, and it wants to use the same law as it used to justify bringing in tariffs on Chinese imports last year. Now, the US Trade Department estimates that the cost to American business is something like over 10 billion euros a year. The timing, of course, is interesting. Remember, we've got the Boeing 737 MAX fleet that's grounded at the moment, and also just a couple of weeks ago there was a World Trade Organization ruling against the Americans over unfair tax breaks granted to Boeing. Now, this whole Boeing Airbus wrangle at the WTO has been going on now, as you've said, for more than a decade. There's been claim and counterclaim. Both sides have been found to be breaking the rules. And the WTO has said that the EU subsidies do have an adverse effect on the Americans. In particularly, what you've said are these launch aid subsidies. That's promoting new, large civil aircraft, which Boeing says has caused it to lose a lot of sales. So the WTO has agreed to look into the Americans' claims. A ruling is due this summer. The Americans say that despite the rulings against the EU, they've continued to put into practice these subsidies and even brought in new ones. And it says its ultimate goal is simply to bring all this to an end.
It's extremely detailed, this list of products. Just give us a few of the ones on there.
Yes, this is a preliminary list they've put forward for now, getting it all lined up ready. And then if the arbitration ruling is in their favour, they say they'll slam on more. Not surprising, we've got aircraft and aircraft parts in there. It doesn't say so specifically, but it's quite clear that it is targeting one manufacturer in particular when you see the detail that says new aircraft, passenger transports, non-military of an unladen weight exceeding 15,000 kilograms. Kind of just slightly suggests that might have Airbus in its sights. Lots more items as well designed to hit the EU 28 countries, even if they're largely symbolic. The list is pretty bizarre. It begins with fish, everything from swordfish to crab meat. It's got cheese, wine and liqueurs, textiles, tools, ceramics, bed linen, lamps and binoculars, and it ends up, of all things, with artists' brushes. Some of the categories are slightly puzzling. For instance, oysters prepared or preserved are targeted, but not those that are smoked. There's earthenware ornamental articles which have a reddish-coloured body and a lustrous glaze of differing colours. I don't know what they're getting at there. And also telescopic sights for rifles, not designed for use with infrared light. Anyway, the bottom line is that this does threaten to raise trade tensions on both sides of the Atlantic. And of course, it comes on top of the US tariffs slammed on European aluminium and steel imports. And we've still got Trump's threat, of course, to target cars from Europe in the name of US national security.
Absolutely. Well, listen, thanks very much.